Welcome to the Fat Cat Swinger Show!
The show where you go behind the bandstands
and hang with the cats. Tune in for the stories
and stay for the mayhem.
You might even spot some cat shenanigans.
With your hosts, Marco Palo
and Mark Kapitsky. This week on the Fat Cat Swinger Show.
That's right, it's Casual Wednesdays, so put on some pajamas, pop some popcorn, and slurp your favorite drink with Mr. Daps, Marco, and Mark. Join in the fun, comment, and enter the giveaway.
Fasten your seatbelts, because here we go! Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Maybe I should take my tie off for the Casual Wednesday. I literally just got off stage. I know, right? I literally just got off stage a little bit ago. And greetings from Cleveland on my side. I'm out on tour with Louis Prima Jr. Now, anybody out there who might have seen the movie Big Night, we're here at Bruno's Restaurant in Cleveland, Ohio. We've been invited to partake in a big night with Louis Prima Jr. So if you haven't seen the movie, check it out. It's a cute movie. Mr. Daps, I believe you've seen the movie?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. It's one of those movies that you could probably rewatch multiple times because it feels good.
Yeah. Right on. Well, Mark, how are you doing today?
Doing well. It's been busy in the background over here, but doing well. And I'm San Pedro, not any sort of cool restaurant like you, man. But you're looking good. I know we're doing the Casual Wednesdays, but man, makes you miss you look good.
If I would have remembered it was Casual Wednesday, I would have actually changed out of my suit clothing. But anyhow, yeah.
Good look.
Cool. Well, what you got going on? You got anything going on this week, Mark?
I'm getting ready for a wedding this Saturday. Doing a lot of like Michael Jackson and funk and soul and stuff, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right.
So it's nice to do something a little different. And, just learning a lot of music and performed down in San Diego this last weekend.
Yeah.
And just been busy, real busy. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. And Mr. Daps, you got any plans for the weekend?
I have a crazy busy weekend. Halloween starts at Disneyland on Friday, which means the return of more live entertainment in the Dapper Dance. Yes. So we're super excited about that. And obviously you'll have the return of Haunted Mansion Holiday and Halloween Screams and a bunch of other fun stuff at Disneyland. So we'll be covering that Friday. Saturday, I feel like, is the peak of my weekend because I'm going to go see John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl.
Ooh, nice.
There's few, that's one of the best things I feel like that you can do is see the maestro lead the orchestra and play the music he's written for the last however many decades. I'm not even going to guess. But we got box seats, so that's going to be ridiculous. And then Sunday Disneyland.
That's great.
Oh man,
I love it.
That's so exciting with the Haunted Mansion. And I went hiking the other day with Brett McDonald, one of our sax players. And it wasn't that hot, and it was still probably 70 degrees or something. But I was like, oh, it's fall. All right, time to break out the Halloween decorations, and so I'm so glad that Disney is getting that cue as well.
Yes, awesome. Well, let's do a shout out to anybody who's here today. Let's see who's in the guys too. We've got Sarah is in here, Angela, our good friend Brian, Sean Williams, Mara. Who else we got? Paige and Fat Cat and StreamYard. It's looking like a good little Wednesday night. What do we got in store for everybody today?
Well, I feel like we do have to have a little bit of a chat at some point. And then we also have to play a game tonight that's a new game that neither of you have ever played.
All right.
And the thing I love is as I was researching this game, this is obviously from the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Fallon does not know how it works. So it's going to be a good game.
I love it. All right. I love it. That's what we do. We experiment with things. We try things out. We see how it works. And yeah,
It might blow up in our faces. Who knows?
but that's the joy of it, right?
Yeah.
We gotta figure it out every week and see how it goes. So I'm loving it.
exactly.
Right on. Right on. Well,
All
I
right.
hope the background noise isn't too crazy over here. It's funny. They actually closed down the restaurant to invite us here.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's a thing. Like I'm curious. Anybody here in the comments seen the movie Big Night? Because you could definitely probably relate by seeing what happened. It's funny when we showed up. They're like, "Hey, it's not like the movie. We get the happy ending." So
That's right.
yeah, good. So
Uh-huh.
well,
I'm
speaking
curious.
of you doing your performances, I did want to, in case no one has seen it yet, those photos that you were sharing from your Instagram. What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
That
Hey,
is so cool. Oh yeah, I think I have the moving one
you
somewhere.
have the moving one.
Yeah.
There we go. Nice.
Psychedelic. Oh
And
my
you know, it's funny. Meanwhile, I'm editing that photo, getting all artsy with it. And then all of a sudden I look up and they turn on the lights and the lights were actually doing the real thing. But I had done so much work. I had done so much work on making that photo look cool. I was like, screw it. I'm leaving that one on. I'm not gonna worry about the real thing.
Totally
But
fair.
yeah, that was a cool venue. That was in Youngstown, Ohio, and it's called West Side Bowl, and it's a very cool venue. I think the guy got it a few years ago, so probably it only been open for maybe about a year before COVID hit, and it's super cool, small town vibe, but hip. It's a bowling alley. It's a concert venue. They literally took out probably about, I don't know, I would say maybe like 8 or 10 lanes
Huh.
and gut them down to the floor and built a stage and a place where people could sit and or dance or crowd and make a concert. And literally to the left is the bowling alley where they still
yeah.
have 16 lanes active for bowling. And
That's
then got
cool.
downstairs in a basement that's set up. They were doing like Monday night trivia. They've got a smaller stage down there for smaller bands. It's got this cool throwback arcade with a bunch of really cool games that I actually spent like some quarters on. I went to the machine. I hadn't done it in so long. It's such a fun feeling to go into the dollar machine, put it and get the quarters out and go play with the quarters. And on top of it, they've got really good food. Like the food is great. It's just West Side Bowl. The owner super nice, super kind, and every employee there was just like the I mean, I felt like I was in a movie. Everyone was so nice. Like it was just on, I mean, you don't always experience that everywhere you go. So it was really nice to experience that. That's Youngstown, and tonight we're in Cleveland. Um, and again, some nice folks invited us here, and then we're here for 2 nights. And then the band goes on to play Chicago and Detroit and a couple other places. So, yeah.
That's really cool. I think you did something really cool on your Instagram the other day too, Marco, where you kind of gave a behind the scenes look of what an evening with the band at a gig is like. And you were like moving all the equipment and stuff back by the truck. And I think it'd be interesting because most people won't ever experience what you're experiencing this week. Like, what does an average day look like
Oof.
in the life of Marco when you're on the road?
Okay, well, I'll tell you. So we've got this really beautiful tour bus. Um, there's a couple bands I follow who show the tour bus, and they've got the cool thing is that they have a company who is taking care of everything. They have a driver, a mechanic on call.
Cool.
Louis owns the bus. So we are our own crew. We're our own mechanic if something breaks down. Well, guess what happened? We were in, gosh, I don't know where, 3 days ago, and the generator went out. So what does that mean? That means the refrigerator doesn't work. That means the air conditioning doesn't work. That means oh, and the worst part about it is on a bus like that, there's no windows. So it's like we literally were driving 8 hours from one city to the next, and we had no air. Like there was one small window from the passenger that's like literally I could maybe fit my head in there, and that's it. And if we were lucky enough to catch a breeze, it would come through the window and go inside. And everyone that felt it at the same time, everyone's like, ah. But otherwise,
Oh
I got to tell
man.
you, it's not as glamorous as it may seem. It's hard work, especially when things break. But every gas stop and bathroom stop that we made, they were trying to work on the generator, trying to find it. Even like just now, it stopped working again on the way here. We had
Oh
it. We
no.
had today. We had air conditioning for about 3 hours, and then that was it. And then it broke
Oh,
down again. But I mean, that's the reality when you're doing it on your own. And so we did that. Like they thought it fixed. Honestly, I think it might be the alternator, which is a thing that we're finally narrowing it down to.
Yikes.
Again, so but then like so yeah. When I showed you guys when I showed that video on Instagram, that was us loading out of Boston. And in some places you run into, you load out the trailer and you go and you haul all this equipment from one place to another, and you go like that one. We had to go around this entire um, little North End, which is like Little Italy. So like San Diego has like Little Italy. This is like
Mhm.
North End, but it's like old school, like Boston, right? It's this literally just this tiny little street where it looks like barely a car fits through, but
Wow.
two-way traffic. And we're driving down there, and then we've got like these giant trucks coming in our direction, and we're moving out of the way, dodging trucks, trying to get to the stage. And then you get to the stage, and the stage is built on this place where the street goes this way, the street goes that way, and the street goes behind you, and also in the other way. So it's kind of like an X meets Y almost. And we load up and we set up, and then it was like 90, almost 100 degrees. It got almost
Oh
up to 100,
man.
I think. When the last I checked, it was like 95 while we're setting up. No shade, and we're doing our sound check. And that was our first show, so it was like we were rehearsing to warm up and get back in shape again for the
oh,
show.
wow.
So,
Wow.
it is hard work, but the payoff is when you get up there, you do the show, and you look down in the audience, and I'm going to tell you the story of a gentleman that I've seen at the concert now for this is our second or third time, but I feel like I've seen him somewhere else at another concert. He comes up, he's got his walker, he sits up literally front row, sets himself up with his family there, and he's there, biggest smile in the world. This guy, I mean, he must be, I would think he's probably, got to be somewhere around 80, 90 years old, but the biggest smile in the world. And you just see him light up with like the most joy he's ever experienced. And you could see him like reliving, because I come to find out later, he was a musician as well, and he played in the big band days. So like
Oh,
he's
that's
getting
cool.
to relive this and re-experience this. And it was something, I tell you, like just to see that joy, not just in him, but other people that are out there, it's right now it's very mixed. You got it's we got people that want to be vaccinated, people that don't want to be, and it's
Right.
just a very mixed world out there right now. But you've got at the end of the day, everyone still wants that joy and that connection that music brings you, and to be able to do that has been feeling like the payoff, and connect with people again, and because there's nothing quite like it. As you guys know, we do these Wednesday night lives, and we're thankful to everybody who shows up to the Wednesday night lives. But even when we get together in person and do these shows, there's nothing compares to that. Those moments, and just seeing people like tonight in Cleveland, it was a packed house, and everyone very cool, like just and also yet the one thing they didn't allow at the venue was dancing. So
Hmm.
it's like all the other times we played here, they made a big area for dancing, and it was packed, right? So people felt a little like they were like, "Wow, we really want to dance, but we're not allowed to right now." So it's like it's still you still got a little bit of restrictions for the sake of safety and whatnot, but they're still having a great time. And then we're so used to Cleveland being like up and rocking and in our faces and just like yeah, that to not experience this time, it was kind of like different for us. And we were like, "Are you guys enjoying this?" And they'd be like, "Yeah," and it was just like, "Wow." They pop
Yeah.
out of nowhere. So it's like, okay, good, because we can't tell. Like normally, like Cleveland is just like, oh yeah, but yeah, it was so cool. And as you can see, everybody's over here getting ready to have a good time, enjoying some wine and some delicious Italian food. But yeah, so that's I mean, that's the life on the road. I mean, in any given day, like I'll give you last night. We got Slim Cat is going on a secret mission right now out of the country. They are leaving to Curacao to perform,
Wow.
and they are all and LAX right now. And for the last 2 days, I've been dealing, in addition to doing all the touring stuff, I've been dealing with immigration coordination and all the things that it takes to get the band to the island, and it's been intense. So I'll be honest. Last night I didn't sleep. We got back to the hotel at like 11 o'clock at night, and our call time was 6 a.m. I was
Oh
working up
man.
until 5:30, actually 5 o'clock, because at 5 o'clock I decided to pack my luggage, and then at 5:30 I went down to the bus to go early so that I could get myself a spot that I could sleep. So it's not a modified tour bus in the sense where there's a bunch of bunks. It's like a RV, so we have to find our spaces. Well, I go to the foot of the bed on the ground, and I found a space there. Well, and that was where I actually got about 3 hours of sleep, and then I woke up, and then we drive, and then we get to Cleveland, and then it's we. Then I actually had to go do a COVID test today because I need one to get on the island. So it's just
Wow.
been nonstop. But that's a glimpse into the life on tour. It's never stop. It never stops. And even tonight, even when I'm done with this show, I'm gonna go enjoy dinner, and I'll have maybe however long we're gonna stay here. But when we're done, I'm gonna go to the hotel and I'm gonna do laundry, because if I don't, I'm gonna be flying with dirty luggage for the next week, and I don't want to do that. So I gotta, So it's just always something. But that's life on the road.
So to make it even more glamorous, when you're talking about doing laundry, is there an actual laundromat there, or are you talking about taking it into the sink, like when I used to travel to Europe?
That's going to depend on what the hotel has. So
Okay.
if the hotel has a if they have a washing room, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and do it all as much as I can, as quick as possible.
In your set.
Throw it in the dryer, because then whenever I hang dry, I have all day tomorrow, because we're in Cleveland for one more night, and then
Okay.
I leave at 5 a.m. on Friday morning. Technically, 3 a.m. I'm leaving the hotel for the flight at 5 a.m. So yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. But I mean, this is the life that we sign up for. It's
Yeah.
crazy, and we just never know. We never know what's going to happen or what's going to pop up. Like, I'm going to be on alert until the guys make it on the island, because
Right.
I got to make sure that they make it there. You know what I mean? So far everything's lining up and falling into place, and they're on the way. They're all actually. I could see their text messages popping up right now because I'm using my phone today instead of. But they're all communicating, and one by one getting to the airport, checking in and whatnot. So yeah, but that's a glimpse into the life on the road.
That is very cool, Marco. And I mean, it is interesting because I think all of three of us were related to the show business industry one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I think there is this stigma that, like, oh, you get to be on stage, or you get to be in a really cool control room, or all of this stuff. And I was even in a meeting today, and they were talking about virtual interviews, basically like this that we do on one of the shows I work on, and they wanted these people wanted to recreate it, and I'm like, well, do they have a staff of 20? Because it takes 20 people for me to make this happen, between cameramen, audio men, all of this other stuff. And I think people don't realize the amount of effort in free performers practice. Mark and I were talking about that before the show started, and just the lead up and the follow up for these couple hours of pure magic that the guests get to experience. And then I think it's, for those of us not on tour, it's fantastic to get to hear what that's like, the ups and the downs, the adventures, whether they're really
good or bad.
smiling or not.
And thank you for asking, because the thing is, I think sometimes when you're in this world, I don't want to say I take it for granted, but I kind of don't realize what interests people about what happens on life on the road. So I mean, if you never ask the question, I never know to really talk about it. I just randomly thought about that other day when I did the story from Boston. I just randomly thought of that, and I just put it out. I was like, yeah. But it's like I never think about it. But actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I did get more response on that than I've got on anything in a while. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's an unknown thing, I think, for a lot of the world. And it's kind of like, was it last week you were in New York? Or 2 weeks ago, Mark, when you were in New York?
Oh, Mark, too.
Yeah, and before and after the show, either it was Instagram or texting or even on the live stream before we went live, just getting a little glimpse of like hearing you walk through New York and kind of getting lost but not getting lost, and like the parts you don't think of the getting to and the going froms and not being in fancy suits on stages singing songs that we all know and love.
Yeah.
That's right. It's all about those planes, trains, and automobiles, and then too, you might not be the only one who needs to do laundry tonight, so you might have to hit one of the other band members.
I got to compete against the machine, like getting the machine. That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. Totally. So here's a question for you, Mark. We've heard about Marco's travels, and we got to hear some great adventures from him when we had dinner a couple months ago. What has been, maybe you can either say the roughest or the weirdest travel experience going to or from a gig?
Oh, I don't know. That's tough. I mean,
if you want, I will give you the weirdest experience I've had in a performance while you think about it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I was on a tour in college choir, which isn't quite the same, but we have some adventures there. And you would get to go to people's houses at night to, they'd take you in at the night. And we were up outside of Seattle, Washington. It had snowed. It was frozen. And we went to this lovely couple's house. And I got put in a room with my friend Luke. And the bed was this little tiny thing that I'm 5'10" and a half, whatever. And my feet were sticking out of the bottom of the bed. He's 6'4". And they literally gave us like the thinnest blanket you had ever had. And then they had this really big, like fancy, like altar on the shelf. And so we're kind of getting ready for bed. And we're like, what's the altar thing? And they're like, oh, that's Rufus. And it was their dog. And then we got to hear their whole story about this dog, which wasn't the craziest part of the night, because then the husband had us watch bowling with him till 2 a.m. on TV, which I didn't even know it was on TV. And in the next morning, they gave us donuts that they've been saving for a week because they were the ones they didn't like. And runny scrambled eggs. It was an amazing.
No. Oh my god!
And the part that I forgot to mention is because it was snowing, the house was freezing, and we had one blanket to share between the two of us. It was like the thinnest thing ever, and it was a pull-out bed. And it was just one of those moments. Like we made it through it, and everybody came back the next day, and they're like, "Oh, I stayed at this like really fancy house, and the people we had a hot tub, and other people were talking about playing pool and like all these fancy places, because it was really an affluent neighborhood, except for the two people that we stayed with decided to see how well we could survive hanging out with each other. But yeah, that was probably my weirdest close to a tour type experience. Your turn, Mark.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have anything quite so detailed, but yeah, when I was on one of the times on tour in Australia, I mean, they don't always book the tours like because Australia is huge, obviously.
Yeah.
And so it's not usually that they book the tours as you would think, kind of just going around the coast, like just going from short distances. Usually it's like whenever they're available, whenever the theater is available, the venue is. So we'll play here, and then we'll get on a flight, we'll go across the entire continent for a show, and then we'll drive 8 hours down to do through the night to get a matinee, and then and then fly back over down south. And you're just constantly getting on and off planes, you're changing time zones, and just trying to keep track of all your luggage, and in the
meanwhile you gotta rest and take care of your voice so that you can sing.
Exactly. And for myself, like getting little sleep affects my voice really just immediately. So I'm on tour. People know that I'm always sleeping, like anywhere. I will sleep anywhere. I'll sleep in the airport, just in a chair, sleep on the bus. I'm sleeping backstage in between sound check to the show. Like, just getting as much rest as possible. And anyway, so like, I think it was this one tour. We had just finished our last few shows in Australia, and then we were going to go to Thailand for a new leg of the trip.
Cool.
And so we flew through the night, and we get to Thailand. We have no idea what time it is, and our bodies are like thinking it's another time. And we get to the hotel, we check in, and oh wait, no, I skipped a part. We got to the airport in Australia, and they hadn't bought our tickets to go to Thailand. Something happened with the promoter, and like,
no.
Oh my God!
Things go wrong on tour, guys.
Yep.
Like big things like that,
Yep.
or like when we crossed the date line one time to get to Hawaii from Australia, they thought we were going to come a day later, and so they had no bookings for hotels.
Oh no!
At 10 o'clock at night during tourist season, so like we were just randomly booking hotels across the islands, like
get the first available room and start putting people away. Yep.
But anyway, so like we finally bought the tickets, got on a flight, arrived in Thailand, and we're exhausted. You know, I think we had to sleep in the airport waiting for our planes. And then when we got there, the promoter was so excited that we were there. Like, oh, we're gonna have a dinner planned for you. Like, and we were all exhausted. All we want to do is go to sleep. And so most of us are all being like, you know what? Thank you, but no, I'm going to sleep for our show tomorrow. I haven't slept in forever. But they're like, no, it's going to be great. It's Italian, and it's going to be awesome. And we're like, wait, we get to Thailand, and our first meal is going to be Italian food.
I know.
But anyway,
might as well give me a hot dog,
right? Yeah. But it seemed like they had put a lot of effort into this dinner, so it's like, okay, yeah, we'll go. And so we're just like trying to drag a bunch of the other people to go, and like, let's just rally, let's make it happen. So we get to this place. It's in like its own courtyard. We go through these huge doors, and there's like a manicured garden and everything in this little house. We go up some stairs. There's a jazz trio they had set up.
That's
and they served like the 7-course Italian meal. The Miss Thailand came and sang for us, and the equivalent of like Il Divo, but Thai. They did all this like opera stuff, but they also did like Jesus Takes the Wheel, but in a quartet form. Anyway, so it's like a huge contrast between the stress and like just the drudgery of what touring is, to then something that was completely crazy that, you know, the story to tell later. And then of course then we have to get some sleep and do the show, but I don't know. Not really. I don't really answer the question.
No, it's the life of the road. I mean, you're it's funny. It's like, while you were sharing your story, I was imagining, I don't know why, but for some reason I started imagining that the movie The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio, like some of the scenery that I remember from there. I'm imagining that that's kind of like what it was like for you guys going into these courtyard of a hotel, and just imagining that. I've always wanted to go to Thailand. How's cool? I have to ask. I've been told by folks who are Thai that own Thai restaurants in America that Thai food in America is not the same as Thai food in Thailand, and that's better in America because you got access to better ingredients. Did you experience that, or did you get to experience some great Thai food and maybe got lucky?
I mean, what I had there was incredible. It was really good, and I hadn't eaten that much Thai food before going, and now I love it. Now I try it. One of my favorite things to get.
I had it for dinner tonight, randomly enough.
Oh, hey!
What was that?
I had it for dinner tonight. It's all connected.
Hey!
Yeah. Well, next time maybe we do a Thai night with Mr. Daps. I'd be interested.
I like that idea.
See, Mr. Daps.
I'm game for that.
Burger Quest, and then we'll have Thai Quest.
Yes, that's good. Those are, two of my favorites right there.
I think, because I know Marco, that you have dinner coming very soon.
Yeah.
What do you say we play a quick game?
Let's do it. All right.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna skip the intro video because
Okay.
we're roughing it tonight with Marco in the restaurant. And
it's kind of a fun background, though, isn't it? It's kind of
no, it's not too bad. It's fun. I actually like it. So the way this game is gonna play tonight is I'm gonna have one of you close your eyes, and then I'm gonna show the other one of you a picture of something that might be a little bit ridiculous.
Okay.
When I say the other person can open their eyes and I've hidden the picture again, the person who saw that picture then has a choice. They can either describe what they saw in that picture or make something completely else up. Just lie about it. So it's called Box of Lies. That's the name of the game. And then the person who had their eyes closed has to either say that it was a lie that they were told or the truth that they were told. You don't have to guess anything. You just have to read if the person's lying or telling the truth. So who would like to be the liar or truth teller first? Mark would. Okay.
All right.
So, I thought for sure you were going to guess. So Marco, how about you cover your eyes for a second?
Ready.
Mark, I'm showing you this. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm hiding that. Marco, you are clear.
All right, all clear.
And whenever you would like, Mark, you can either describe what you have seen or you can lie to us. And I'm not going to say anything. You just run with it.
All right. So what I saw was Black Widow and Gumby, in a relationship, sitting on a bench. It's a very romantic setting. The lighting could use some work, but they're making it work. I mean, they're in love, so
it's the next movie, huh?
Do I get to ask any questions more about this?
No. So he just told you. He just described something, and now I'm going to ask: was Mark telling the truth, or was he lying?
I'm going to call for a lie.
Mark.
I was telling the truth.
Oh,
Mark
no
was
way!
Telling the truth.
I mean, I embellished a little bit, but
okay.
You were
I gotta see
close,
the I gotta see the photo because it sounds too crazy.
All right, here was the photo.
Oh my gosh! Okay. All right. I see where we're going now.
Mark, would you cover your eyes? Mark, you won round one, so it's 1-0 right now. All right, Marco, here you go.
All right. Oh my gosh! Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Mark, you can uncover your eyes, and Marco, you can start whenever you'd like.
Oh my gosh, Mark, this is the funniest thing. Okay, do you remember there was this movie in the 70s, and it had this like funny looking alien, and but the alien he was kind of like one of these funny looking aliens. Well, this alien is sleeping in the middle of the desert, but they've got a very like little glamorous like a what do you call it, like the when you futon. Thank you, futon. They're sleeping on a very glamorous futon set up to look like they're glamping.
So Mark, is Marco telling the truth or is he lying?
I don't know. Marco's so charming. It's hard to.
This reminds me of the fair.
I know. I knew I was going to be horrible at this game. I'm gonna go for a lie. You're lying to me, Marco.
Oh, you got it.
Wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was lying. It is an alien,
my gosh.
but it's ET.
Okay.
I was digging too much.
There you go. So, Mark, I guess you get a second point. You were in the lead.
All right.
Marco, would you cover your eyes again, please?
All right. Ready.
Okay. All right.
Marco, you were clear. And Mark, you can describe whatever you'd like in just a second.
Okay. So, I saw a fantasy character.
Okay.
It was Gandalf, and he was sitting there backstage in a shoot, in a video shoot. He was on his Mac.
On a Mac? Gandalf on a Mac?
On a Mac. Yeah.
Okay.
But he was still dressed up in his Gandalf clothes. You can kind of see like his staff over in the corner. And
is it all
it
green
just seemed
screen?
like really strange between sort of the Lord of the Rings accoutrement and having a Mac sitting in front of him.
Okay, Marco,
I'm gonna take a chance.
Telling the truth or lying?
I'm gonna go for one more lie.
Another lie. Here is the photo.
Yes, I was lying.
You called it.
Man.
All right.
Is that T-Rex knocked over? This is, but I get it, because the photos are kind of so outrageous, though, that you could tell the photo and it could be a lie, or you could try to do something. Yeah, I get it. All right.
Exactly.
All
All right, Mark, cover your eyes.
I'm so bad at this.
You never know.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Do you see what it is, though?
Yep, I do.
Okay. Mark, you can cover your eyes. And
right.
Marco, you can start whenever you'd like.
So there is this, my initial reaction, I felt like, did you ever see The Ring?
No, but I know about it.
Okay, it's like
I
that
hate
thing
scary
that.
movies.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But see, back in the day, I was forced to watch this, and that was my initial reaction when I saw this thing. It looked like a hand. It looked like a hand, and it was lumpy and green, and it had a wedding ring. So I don't know why that made me think of The Ring, but maybe that's why, because of The Ring. It had a wedding ring. But it was really scary looking, and it was just, I think it was like a lumpy hand of olives that was just proposed to, or engaged or married. I don't know, but it was kind of scary looking.
Okay, Mark, is Marco telling the truth or is he lying?
That's tough. He's being very specific. But I don't know how scary of an image of Mr. Dax would actually put on the show. So I'm going to say Marco's lying.
And here is the image.
Oh my
Marco
goodness!
is telling the truth. All right. So what we have here is a problem because we are now tied.
All right.
Which means we have to do a tiebreaker.
Okay.
So whoever puts their hand up first gets to be the describer. In 3, 2, 1, Marco, you jumped at it, so you get to describe. All right, Mark, cover your eyes, and here you go, Marco.
Well, we could do it that.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
You see it?
All right.
Okay. And Mark, you can uncover your eyes, and Marco, you can start whenever you'd like.
Jeffrey the giraffe is sitting with a ring necklace of donuts, looking like Dalsum from Street Fighter.
Okay. Is Marco telling the truth or is he lying?
He's a lying liar who lies.
And I think Marco just won.
Where did you get these pictures, Mr.
That's hilarious.
What?
I totally thought you had this game, Mark.
No, you knew when you came up with this one that this was not going to be my
No,
jam.
you were 2-0 in the first.
It was a fluke.
You started off really strong, though. You were in the lead.
Tell a lie. Okay.
I literally thought, I was like, I think this is the night Mark is going to run away with this because it just
I
felt
thought so
like you
too.
had it.
No, I have no poker face, and I
could definitely pull a poker face. I could definitely pull a poker, but sometimes I can't. It just
I actually
Well done,
do think
Marco.
at some other time we should play this game again. And I was watching the chat, and so Paige thinks you both have obvious tells. So I think it would be interesting the next time we play this to have them guess. Like I'll text you the picture instead.
Okay,
and so
okay.
You guys will describe, and the chat will guess.
All right.
Does that
then
sound
we
like
make
fun?
our audience. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down.
So I'll text you individually, and then like if I text Marco the picture, Mark can still guess, but we'll also let the chat guess, and then it won't get too slow.
Yeah. All right. It could be
and then
like
we can
it could
test
be.
if
It could even be like we could even have like 3 teams where it's like Marco, Mark, and the audience all competing together.
Yep. We can.
Ooh.
And Paige says deal, so we've got a competition going there. But
yes, love it.
Marco, I know you've got to get food.
Hey, that's all right. Thank you guys. I'm glad we all got to. I want to say thank you to everybody who did join us tonight. Hey, I want to say thanks to everybody who joined us tonight. On Wednesday night, I know we haven't had a chance to really promote it that much between being on the road, and I know Mark, you're handling a lot of stuff, and Mr. Dapps, you've got a lot of Disney that's happening right now as well, which I'm hoping, I'll put this out there for anybody that's watching today, we might be able to share some very good news very soon, very, very soon. So, we're gonna start putting that word pretty soon. So that's all I can say for now.
Awesome. Well, Mark, do you have any final words for tonight?
No, just that I'm gonna practice my poker face for next time. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I was pretty close. You're right.
I actually think of all the games we've played, this is the one that it started, and I thought for sure you had it.
Oh, well.
Like,
I'm so thankful for your confidence in me.
I'm there for you. All right. Marco, do you wanna say goodnight?
I'm gonna say goodnight because they're doing a toast, so I'm gonna go join them on the toast. But
we'll see you all
next
week.
Guys. See you next Wednesday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
It's time for us to say goodbye to all our friends. We hope you had a really great time. We'd love to stay some more and swing till the end of the night. It's time for us to pack our stuff and go. We danced, we sang, we played our hearts out to you. We showed you what we're all about. We hope to see you again the next time we are around. That's when you tell your friends the fat cats are in town. Again, we'd like to thank someone. Oh wait, that someone would be you. Cause without you none of this would be true. Just remember to share that great big smile with somebody next to you. Cause you might just brighten someone's cloudy day.